Hi, Rachel. In assignment 2, I wonder whether your areas of overlap could show greater influence of green. When I test them with the color picker, they look like they're just darkened examples of the same yellow that you started with. Now, looking at transparency, um, gee, this is an interesting idea. I'm especially fascinated by the pattern that's to the rear. If this is suggesting transparency, it's an odd sort of transparency where, when pink crosses green, we get a kind of ochre color. I noticed that there are other shapes that work in a more predictable manner. They are on top, but I'm struggling to find a relationship between them and this woven rug-like design to the rear. Looking at your depth piece, I wanted to just say a couple of things. First of all, desaturated colors usually recede. However, light colors usually advance, and so do saturated colors. So we've got a little bit of controversy going in this design. Now, looking at your vibration piece, one thing to remember is that a warm and a cool color will work best, especially if they're very saturated. Hi, Courtney. Your assignment 2 looks great. I like the drama with the interval there. I noticed that you've centered the transparency part, assignment 3, and that there are adjustments also to the depth piece. I think both of those work to advantage. And with your vibration piece, it would be better if the colors were more similar in value. Hi, Ellie. Taking a look at this assignment too, I don't see the sort of effect we're looking for. When I take the color picker to this, I do notice subtle differences. Now, I wonder if you had the chance to take a look at my drafts review. Even if I haven't reviewed your drafts, I believe you'll find help there. This is a really nice transparency example. It's true most of the activities going on in the lower left corner, but it's nice the way it appears to be something of a package or a set of things bound in a semi-transparent green string, if you will. Now, with depth, I noticed that you've made an adjustment there, and I think that this design works better. Also, with vibration, you've changed things around, and my eyes are really buzzing looking at this. Hi, Ben. Your assignment 2 looks pretty good, only I think the template may be breaking down on you. With transparency in assignment 3, this is a really beautiful solution. I would encourage you to be just a little more of a stickler with regard to placement of things. With depth, what a beautiful solution. This really works well with the theory. And I think I understand that you've been making red shapes progressively more transparent. And this is working because everything's laid down on a blue ground. Now I noticed that the placement of shapes is a little bit erratic. It's not neat. However, I think that works in this case. With your vibration piece, I see that there is some variation, mostly in saturation, and if you check the sample in class, I think you'll see that the variation is in hue, while all colors remain pretty saturated. Well, hello, Vita. I can see that you built this rather than using the template for assignment 2. And what I'm thinking is when you have the template, and especially when you're working with rectangles, it's a lot easier to control making the area of overlap a different color. In other words, you can select or draw a shape to fit that neatly. I think here you have the general idea. However, I'm trying to see that bottom circle, the red circle, as being behind the blue. I think there's a little bit of the effect of that. Hi, Justin. As you probably appreciate, this assignment is about making the look of transparency when you aren't actually using any transparency. So what we want in the left area of overlap and the center area of overlap are colors that look like they're a mixture of the two blues. And when I check with the color picker, what I'm getting there are tones or shades of the blue used in the vertical shape. So a little adjustment there would make that perfect. Now, looking at your transparency piece, that's the green one according to your labels, I don't see a strong quality of transparency here, although this is a fascinating design. With depth, things are working well. With vibration, what you want are a couple of colors that are similar in value, and they should also be fully saturated. Hi, Cody. What you've got with assignment 2 is not really what we're looking for. I just did the proof on yours, similar to what you'll see in problems and solutions in week 4. And uh, the color that you've got in the area of overlap, of course, is not a mixture of orange and blue. So take a look there at my post in problems and solutions, please. Now, I realize your transparency one is at the bottom right. Your depth one is there at left, the one in browns. A beautiful, intricate solution, sort of landscape that looks as though it might be made of Lego. My word, what you can do with rectangles, amazing. Now, with vibration, that's going to be the top right one. I noticed that some of these colors are fully saturated and that they are similar in value. Generally, vibration works a little better if there are only a couple of colors, but I think you're largely successful here. Hello, Caitlin. With your assignment too, what I think I'd do is swap the middle and left areas of overlap there. So you'll have something more in line with what the assignment's asking for. Your transparency design is positively beautiful, but you leave us at odds a little bit to understand how the layering works since there are no trailing ends to the shapes. Looking at depth, the illusion of depth is created here by shapes becoming smaller and thereby suggesting distance. I took the color picker to this and I see that the same colors are used in the distance or in the center and at the exterior. And given that, I'll say that you aren't working with color theory to create this illusion. Now, with vibration, I see that value is exceedingly constant. Nice job on that one. Well, hi, Eric. Looking at your assignment too. I'm puzzled by the way the area of overlap there at left looks lighter than the red itself. But when I look at this in grayscale, I observe that the green translates to a very light value, and that must be why. Sometimes digital color mixtures catch us off guard. All right, transparency looks okay. With depth, you have the idea. It appears to me that you've done something along the lines of what Ben did, and it's working here. Looking at your vibration, the colors here are not so different from what Caitlin have, but in grayscale, I see a lot of value contrast. So ideally, for vibration, you want a warm and cool color, which you have, fully saturated colors, and also similar values. Well, hi, Bob. At first with assignment 2, I was a little perplexed, but then I realized that you made 4 vertical bars. They're yellow, and your backdrop is gray, and now it all makes sense. And this is actually a great example. It might be that this file could be saved at higher resolution. Now, looking at your transparency design, well, um, I appreciate the transparent stripes. They're lined up neatly, colors chosen with care. The yin yang, I'm thinking you built based on some directions I gave back in assignment, what was it, 3 in week 2, and applause for your success. But on the other hand, I would say when the assignment calls for rectangles only, take that to be the rule. And there's some shapes other than rectangles in the depth design too. With color in that design, things are working for you. Now, with vibration, there's a lot going on. It might be that this design would be stronger if it was a little more simple. Remember, too, the colors that are similar in value as well as fully saturated and including a warm and a cool will be your best bets for vibration effects.